morning, my friends. Welcome back to the den for today's shave, which is brought to us by Vintage Old Spice soap and this great Case Red Imp razor. This is one you've seen a few times, but it's a dandy, and I like shaving with it. We're gonna face lather again today. Squeeze the moisture out of there, get our face wet, and then load and go. I got a little bit of water floating on top of the puck. We're just gonna oh my, got a little bit too much water in the brush. Well, we'll go with it. Old Spice is really a great soap. It's a shame that they decided not to do it anymore. But, the shaving habits of the world have gone far away from mug and brush into what I'll call canned goo. Look how good that is. Of course, I'm getting soap all over this black shirt. It's gonna give me gray spots. That's okay. I don't have to go anywhere today. Our history today is a bit about things that I'm just discovering here lately. George Washington's headquarters in Cambridge, I didn't realize until I was just kind of looking at the maps and just how close Cambridge is to Boston. So you got all those British troops all up in Boston. They're under siege. And here's George, about 3 miles away in Cambridge. That was kind of like laying down next to the bear or something. That was, and as a testimony to that, today in 1775, the Washington's guys dealt out a pretty neat little raid, harassment of the British troops after Bunker Hill just a few weeks ago. During Bunker Hill, as you know, the British burned a little town called Charlestown, which is burned it to the ground. Well, a few houses survived that, and they are right close to this big earthworks that the British put up on the top of Bunker Hill. You remember we talked about Breed's Hill and Bunker Hill, where, well, the fighting was over the whole little island thing. It's a little spit of land. And so this fortification that the British put up, they were then using the houses that survived the fires. They were using those houses as firewood. And housing guard units who were watching this little spit of land. It's kind of commanding in its location. There's one road that went, kind of one road in to that area. And this fortification is sitting right on top of it, so you couldn't possibly enter the general area without being seen. Well, that's what they thought anyway. What they didn't think about was these colonial troops. There's also a little mill pond right off to one side of it. I'll put a graphic either probably around in this area. This is for my benefit. Right next to the fortification, there's a little mill pond and a little dam that trapped water in the Charles River. Well, that little earthen dam was pretty easy to cross, I guess, because 100 men crossed this little dam under cover of darkness. And while the British were, a lot of the British forces anyway, were in Boston watching a play. We're supposed to be a spoof of, they're making fun of the colonials. Well, they're making fun of us. We were sending guys across this dam. And they snuck across, captured a couple of guards, and one of the keys to remember how 3 miles from Bunker Hill or Boston general area to George Washington's camp was about 3 miles. But there's a little artillery battery right next to that fortification. And so they got in there and they spiked a barrel. And now, what spiking is, I'll put a graphic about that right here also. Spiking a barrel doesn't necessarily destroy the cannon, but it sure does make it unusable for a while. It involves the place where the little fuse would come out on the end. Well, they run a spike into that and just drive it in, and real hard to get out. And disabling artillery there makes sense because you could potentially reach out beyond, what musket fire was. He could reach out and touch our troops there. So we'll take out your long-range capabilities at this spot. So they got in and out, did this action with no casualties on our side. I think might have killed a guard or two, captured a couple too, and just basically harassed our British friends. So they figured out that you can't rest when you have these sneaky colonials around who might sneak around and grab things or capture people or harass us all the time. Guerrilla type warfare, which was ungentlemanly. Let's see how we, now that I went and wiped all the water off my face before I needed to have it wet to put Alan. Good shave today. Thank you guys so much for coming to see me. I hope you're enjoying these stories. This is, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Please leave a like, subscribe, forward me to friends you think might enjoy this. Now, Let's try another kind of unobtainium aftershave. This is also Old Spice. This is Old Spice White Water. I've not seen very many of these. It's an aquatic. I don't use it much because once it's gone for me. Very nice, kind of a clear, clean smelling soap or aftershave. And that's it. I'm Major Rich. You'll find me at theshavingcutter.com. You might be finding me on my YouTube channel, Safety Cat Studios. Thank you so much for putting up with me, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.